Speaking of the Eagles, what are some of the dumb things they've done now? They've punched a horse. They try to climb the poles, and successfully, even though the Philadelphia's finest decided to grease the poles.
Right, they've done some looting. They've flipped over some cars, fires, all that kind of stuff. Right. And this guy is getting on his knees with the crowd around him over a pile of horse dung, and he's about to eat it. And they're rooting him on. Oh, God.
We did not. We being Seattle Seahawks. There's nothing when they had the parade in Seattle.
There was nothing. There was nothing.
A million people showed up.
I'm sure some people got arrested, but there was nothing that made news. There was nothing like this.
Yeah,
there was no fires.
They said it was the biggest gathering of people in the city.
Over 700,000, almost a million
history,
people.
by a lot. And there was nothing that went bad. I've been down, in Seattle. Back in the early 2000s, I went down to a Mardi Gras, and it was terrible. There was riots down there, and I remember thinking, "God, this city's horrible." And I moved.
You were there for WTO too.
Yeah, shortly thereafter. It was a bad time, the turn of the century in Seattle.
Is that right, WTO?
They've pulled it together, and maybe the Seahawks have a lot to do with that, or had a lot to do with that, because they stopped acting stupid. In Philadelphia, the stupidity just continues. Now, day after tomorrow, they're going to have their parade. Back in the summer, Lane Johnson, who's a tackle for the Eagles, guaranteed free beer for everybody if the Eagles win it all. Well, now he's got to make good on his promise, right? So,
how do you do this?
Well, you get your friends over at Budweiser who have access to as much beer as humanly possible.
Yeah, you're going to need somebody like that
to step up, and that's what they've done. Bud Light has stepped up and offered to provide the beer if the Eagles pull off a victory. So they did, and the way this is going to work is during the victory parade on Thursday, all fans of legal drinking age will be able to go to the bars along the parade route and find Bud Light reps who will be serving up free beers.
They'll probably be serving them in little cups. You're probably getting like a little Dixie cup of Bud Light. Here you go. Here's your free beer. Yeah, I'd throw it in his face. Get that out of here. Don't do that. That would be stupid, especially with these fans. This guy's eating horse crap.
Exactly.
Flipping cars over in their own town, burning down buildings, and looting stores. I mean,
if you're Budweiser,
don't
what's
give
the
them
best
glass.
plan of attack on this one? To save some money and hand it out in Dixie cups? Or just say, we're dealing with Philadelphia. These are caged animals, okay? Philadelphia fans are caged animals. Do you just say, here's a can of beer, man?
No, that's a weapon. That's a bad idea.
Good point.
You got to give them like they make those little Bud Light, maybe not Dixie cups, but they make those Bud Light cups. They're like, whatever, 12-ounce cup. You give them that. Just, there you go. There's your beer.
So you give them 12 ounces. You give them a pint. Because you can't give them, if you're giving them like a 6-ounce beer, they're going to get pissed.
Yeah, no, you got to give them with it. Yeah.
It's
poke the bear, man.
Exactly.
Don't do it. That's what happens.
And then if somebody asks for 2 of them, fine. Here's 2. Here you go.
Wow.
Because we know what you'll do. You'll eat horse poop, fresh horse poop, after a victory.
It's going to be impossible to get a beer during this whole thing because everybody's going to be. We've all been to a busy bar and you have to wait in line. It's a pain in the ass, and you're always thinking, but there's lines over here, but maybe I can get this bartender's attention over here. There's going to be none of that. It's just going to be a madhouse of people rushing into these poor bars, and these guys.
And if we've seen anything and we know anything about Philadelphia and Philadelphia fans, is they're extremely patient individuals. Like, you think they're going to be willing to wait in line for their free beer?
Wow.
That's going to cause riots in itself.
Like, you eat crap when your team loses and you make a bad bet. You don't eat it when they win for no reason.
And it's weird. It's this weird primal instincts that are taking over. Like, there's video. We just shared the other video you talked about a little bit earlier. There were the people at the Ritz-Carlton. They're standing on the awning. And there's
stupid.
There's like 50 of them on this awning, which is just it's an awning like for the walkway when you walk in. It's not like a permanent fixture of the building, and it collapses. Then there's people just like walking around with poles that they'd uprooted out of the ground. Like, they're just walking around. Like, they're like, well, we can't climb the poles. We're going to take the poles out of the ground. We're just going to walk around with them. They're like, all right, cool, our team won. And they're just walking around with them. It's the weirdest thing. I'm saying, you don't give these people free beer. Do not give these people free beer. That's going to be like the detriment to Philadelphia society.
Wouldn't it be smarter? And I'm thinking of like I'm the mayor or the police chief of Philadelphia, and I'm in charge of all these officers, and I know they're bringing in extra protection, all this stuff, to maybe do this at another time. Like say, hey, you know what? All right, what was the guy's name for the Eagles that was going to buy the beer?
Oh, my gosh.
Whatever his name is.
He's a tackle.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson, free beer giveaway day. It's going to be on, I don't know, Monday at 2 o'clock down at, you know what I mean? Like, make it at a time where most people couldn't come, and then make it somewhere like when there isn't, a million people in the streets.
Here's the thing you can do to Philadelphia fans. You can make it on April 31st, and they'd be cool with it. You have to do the math on that. There is no April 31st.
Oh, okay. Well, at first I thought... you know what I thought? And not that you're going to school me on religion, but I thought I know there's Lent and stuff starts to happen around April and May or March. I don't know. I thought it was a religious thing.
You wanted to eliminate the Catholic element?
There is no 31st of April. That's funny because I texted somebody yesterday. I'm going to go down. Oh, that's March. Never mind. Is there a March 31st?
Yes, there's a March 31st.
Because I told him I'm going to be out of town March 30th and 31st. And then I thought, God, is there a March 31st? I'm like, it doesn't matter. He knows what I'm talking about.
You could have scheduled it for April 31st, and everybody would be cool with that. And then when the day came, they'd be like,
listen,
oh, man.
I know there was Mardi Gras here, and it got shut down, and that was a long time ago. And before we get everybody calling in about that, oh, God, look at their phones go. But, I mean, if you've been in a situation where it gets pretty wild about that, they really have controlled it here. St. Patrick's Day is probably the craziest it gets in this town, and they've really done a nice job of controlling that.
St. Patrick's Day or St. Fratty's Day?
St. Fratty's Day, yeah.
That was pretty intense.
Oh, was that that was when the garage collapsed.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's up, Brian?
Good morning, guys. Hey, do you guys know if they got a tax bonus thing at Budweiser? Because I'm just picturing these guys at the end of the day looking like Bill Burr taking on Philadelphia.
Have you seen that stand-up, when Bill Burr was getting heckled, and then it's just
I have not seen it.
It's gnarly.
By the end of it, he's calling the entire city's mothers bleep.
Yeah, it is. He just lost it on the city of Philadelphia. It was
I'm picturing these beer reps, something like that, by the end of this day.
Oh yes, exactly. I mean, and it's like, oh yeah, that's.
I mean, that's the last place I want to go try to get a free beer. I would much rather pay for 100 beers.
Listen, if I'm one of those reps
and try to get that,
if I'm one of those reps, I'm preparing my L&I paperwork right now. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate the call. Hi, thanks for hanging on. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I just got to say, well, you were just talking about how they need to put the beer in the middle of the day. That's like the most de-headed way to pay back a bet. Like, you lost a $100 bet, you pay it in pennies, kind of, Think about what you'd be saying if they did that. Oh, Bud Light gave out 6-ounce beers at 2 in the afternoon. Nobody could even go.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that they might riot actually in Philadelphia for that. That's probably a bad idea.
That's the thing.
All right,
throw the party, give everyone the beer.
Hey, nobody said I'm smart. That's actually a really good catch.
It's a slippery slope. It's as slippery as those lampposts.
Good morning. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.